Thank you, buddy.
Hey, everybody, we are here with Sekou Pyle out of New York, New Jersey, 24 years in the business, the founder of the Appointment Academy. He is doing some huge things in real estate. He's coached thousands of people. We're going to have a great talk. Stick around. Here we go.
Man, that
over
hits
there
hard.
dancing. Come
That
on,
hits
man.
hard, bro. Oh,
There you go, man. I appreciate you jumping on here. I know you are a busy guy. You are doing all kinds of big things here, all over the place. So, man, thank you so much for jumping on. It's good to have you here.
It's an honor and a pleasure to be on. And be honest with you, man, as busy as we might be, these are the non-refundable moments, man. It's like when we get to kick it with friends and like minds. That's what we really want to do.
Totally, man. I love all that. I love the teamwork, the collaboration, everything that goes on here. It's been phenomenal. So anyway, it's been great to meet you here the last few months, being on some of these Zooms and different things and all kinds of stuff going on. So real quick, tell your story. 24 years in this crazy business that we're in. So,
ooh, man, yeah. I got in right before the 9/11 disaster happened, and everybody, closed up shop and was like, how are we supposed to sell real estate? They're blowing up buildings and stuff like that,
Yeah.
And what I've noticed is that there's been a few significant downturns, and the ones that stick with it, the ones that don't panic, make money on the way up and make money on the way down. So I just set a mission in life, man, that I'm gonna make millionaires out of the people that trust in me every year for the rest of my life, and I haven't looked back.
Wow.
I haven't looked back at all. There was that one year when my youngest son was born. He was a preemie that I had to get out of the business because we spent 24 hours a day in the hospital. But that was it.
Yeah. There you go. How many kids do you have?
I've got 5 kids, brother. I got a small basketball team, and everybody is just as special as the last.
That's awesome. Good for you. Good for you.
That just means I can't ever retire.
Keeping you busy in all different directions,
yes,
for sure. So, you said something right there. And I think, again, there's going to be a lot of people watching this over time. We'll have this recorded, of course. But, right now, I mean, we're seeing a lot of, you scroll through social media, you can't help but see panic and all this stuff going on. All these agents, the ones been in the last 3 years, it's like, stick a sign out there and it sells. Well, now, guess what? Now you got to actually have conversations with your clients. You got to actually, I got to actually do some work here.
What am I gonna do?
Exactly.
I gotta talk to people.
What do I do? Yeah, exactly. And they're leaving the business by droves. There will be those that leave. And honestly, there's, some of them, probably should leave. I mean, they didn't get in for the right reasons and they haven't worked it. They haven't treated it like a business, whatever. We've had that. But, you're right. I mean, 2008, the biggest year I had was 2011.
Okay.
And we did a lot of business, but man, we had to shift. We shifted gears in 2008, and it became all short sales.
Yes,
but
sir.
Again, the good agents adjust. What would you say to some of these, the agents right now, the last few years, and I know you coach a lot of agents. What are you seeing right now with the market, and what would you be saying to some of those agents?
So I'm a bit of a crackpot, man. I never go in for the market, right? So when it's a buyer's market or a seller's market, I always believe that it's a broker's market. It's our ability to put deals together that really makes things happen. And when you see a market shift like this, when it's shifting because of market conditions or interest rates or something like that, I champion it. It's supposed to happen, right? Like you buy stock and hope that it goes up, right? You hope that the market shifts, right? You buy stock at market price and you look to benefit from shifts in the market. Well, the same thing happens with real estate. Oh, thank you. Didn't you just make one? Yes. Sorry, my son is off to the side. He's learning to cook for himself, and
Oh, nice.
Unfortunately, some questions can only be answered by Dad when he's on a broadcast.
No worries. No worries.
The other thing that I would say to an agent, especially new agents, and the older agents in the business, this will resonate with them, and I've been saying this a lot. It's like if you opened a bakery, did you open the bakery to work the cash register? Did you open the bakery to make sure that all of the flour was swept off of the floor? No, you opened a bakery to bake your goods, to do your art, to be a great chef, right?
Yeah.
Yes, you have to work the cash register. Yes, you have to keep the place clean, but those are all leveraged activities, right?
Right.
Too many agents get into real estate to work the cash register.
Wow,
And
that's a great point.
it's not like you said when we started. I mean, they got into it for the wrong reasons. And so when the market shifts, it all falls apart for them. Oh my God, there's multiple offers on a single property. Whatsoever shall I do? Right? Meanwhile, I'm like, there's multiple offers on this property.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do? Like, it's awesome for us. So that's my position in life. That's what I tell every agent. Don't worry about the market conditions. It's always your ability to put a deal together that'll move the market. Market's up, market's down, doesn't matter.
For sure. You adjust. But yeah, that is such a great point. I mean, we all get into this. Oh, we all get in for probably different reasons, but we wanted to be our own boss. We wanted to be able to set our schedule, all these different things. And if you build it right, there's things you can do with that. This is a great business, and you can definitely build a business. And that's, I think, people don't treat this like a business. They come in and they treat it like a job. And some people need a boss. That's just the truth of it, but you've got to learn, you got to grow to that point where you can be your own boss if you're really going to make this work.
See, Mike. So Jeff, the funny thing is that a lot of these people that actually fail at real estate, and I use the word fail sort of with a grain of salt because I think you have to fail in order to succeed, right? But a lot of people that give up, let me say it more like that. A lot of people that give up on the real estate game, they get into it and they're not willing to do any of the things that they would be willing to do for a boss. If I asked you to come in early and I was giving you a salary, you'd be in early every day. If I asked you to stay late, you'd be late every day. If I asked you to skip lunch, you'd skip lunch every day. If I'd asked you to have this report by the end of the day, even though it takes 3 days to do that report, guess what? They'd have that report by the end of the day. And they're not willing to do that kind of work for themselves. It's just, it gets frustrating from the coaching side of it. But then from the agent side of it, I'm like, yes, see you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Because I'm willing to do what others won't so I can live the way I want to for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Do what others won't. You can have what others can't have. You can do what others can't do.
That's right.
But it does take that. It's going to take some years of really, the grind, the hustle, whatever, and adjusting when the market shifts and all that kind of stuff. Exactly.
2005, 2006 sucked for me.
Really? Okay.
I felt like I was outside with one of those cups with the pencils in it, trying to get, please buy some real estate from me. And then 2007 hit and everybody else started panicking. And 2008, people started doing short sales. I started trading laundromats.
Oh, wow.
I just go into one laundromat, find the guy that was repairing the machine.
Yeah.
Right. Dirty dude repairing the machine. He owns the place. And there's a certain math equation, right? Like it's a certain amount of square footage, certain amount of machines that fit into that square footage, certain amount of dollars you could charge per machine. The only way to make more money is to have more machines. Right. And so I would ask, hey, if you can move to another location, where would you move? Over there. I'd go over there, find the dirty dude that was repairing the machines and ask if he would be willing to hear an offer on his place.
Wow.
From 2007 to 2009, that's how I survived.
That's what you did. Wow. That's out of the box.
But that's the work.
Exactly. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Getting creative with it, And that's the thing. I mean, again, I see so many agents that get in this and, they're their own boss. So they sleep till 9:30, get up, have a nice breakfast, whatever, flip through the TV a little bit while they're eating breakfast and, go to the gym, whatever. Got to get my gym time in. And,
of course,
it's 12:30, got to have a little lunch now, whatever. 1:00 maybe now they're starting to actually do some work, and they work for a couple, 2-3 hours, make a few calls and whatever. And, 4:30 they're done.
Yeah, they're exhausted. Then they're exhausted.
Yeah.
And then they got the complaints.
Oh,
what I learned was the guilt of non-work is harder than the feeling of working till you can't anymore.
Right.
So those people, their spouses come home at the end of whatever shift they're doing, and now I'm complaining about how terrible the real estate business is and how this sucks and this company doesn't work and this model doesn't work and this and that. And really, you didn't work.
Yeah. Blaming everything else, except themselves. Got to look in the mirror sometimes with this. And I've been through that. I've had to make man, there's been times, totally. How many times have I, whatever. It's like, I just really, if I look at the mirror, like, here's the problem. It's you.
Dude,
did you really bust yourself this week? Not really.
Did you really bust yourself this week?
Yeah.
Dude, there's a street in Jersey City called Ogden Avenue.
Okay.
It's the last street in the Heights, or whatever you want to call it, before you fall off a cliff into Hoboken.
Okay.
Right? And arguably Hoboken's one of the wealthiest square miles in the Northeast, right? Hoboken, Weehawken. Okay. I would get a $1.50 sandwich and park on Ogden and say to myself, I'm previewing all the properties in Hoboken.
Yeah. That's funny.
You make excuses, bro. You make excuses. Totally. But there's one thing that one of my best broker team leaders ever said to me. She said, you can either have reasons or you can have results. You can't have them both.
Yep. No, for sure. That's awesome. Where did you start? Where'd you start? Were you at a franchise? Were you at a
I started at a little dirty penny at the top of Hoboken. This place called Brownstone Realty. There was 7 agents, I think. There were 15 agents on the roster. You only ever saw 4 of us at a time.
Okay.
I think the entire office did maybe 12 sales the whole year.
Oh wow.
It was like we used to race the broker to the bank to cash our checks. Like it was stressful, but it was awesome. It was a boiler room, right? Like you did your deals. Yeah. You learned how to do deals. And then I went to another independent called Liberty, where it was a lot more competitive. There were a lot more agents. I helped to build that office to 300 agents. And at the time, that was something major, right? Before like the 3,000 agent office and things like that, Mm-hmm. But that office was the #1 independent in all of Hudson County. Okay. And we did more deals per agent than per person production. And then I went over to Keller, and honestly, I the first time I was at Keller, I hated it. Okay. I freaking hated it. I felt like the information that I was getting wasn't matching up with the action that I was seeing. Right.
Okay.
And so I learned a lot, made a lot of great friends, but then I left and went back to the independent. And right when I went back to the independent is when my youngest son was born. Okay. And, I had to sort of leave the business.
Yeah.
And that was a good 3 years that I was just dad and nurse and,
family first.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
you got to do what you got to do. Yep.
And I came back. When I came back, DeVoe asked me to be a part of his expansion team at Keller.
Okay.
And the very idea of expansion blew my mind. Just blew my mind. It was a franchise within a franchise, and mm-hmm. we could, it was our brand. And although it was a great idea, once again, that audio and visual didn't match up, and that sort of fell apart for us. And we came over to eXp. And honestly, we made a huge mistake, man, when we came over.
Okay.
I just thought it was going to be a better version of KW, right? It's profit share, rev share, it's semantics.
Yeah.
Holy crap. I was not prepared for the world that was introduced to us.
Right.
Like it wasn't even night and day. It was just like another universe. It was like I was on Alderaan and there was 3 suns.
Mm-hmm. Whole different world. Yeah.
It's a whole different world, man. I'm meeting agents like you, agents that are sharing information, crack open their book and be like, this is how I did 1,000 transactions last year. And you're just going to give me, call this guy, speak to this gal, do this thing. Oh, okay. What's the catch? Do it a lot. That's the catch. It was awesome, bro. It was awesome. I think I might have froze you talking too much. Did we lose you? I'll keep talking, bro. My kid is learning how to cook. So that's what that laugh came from. Are you finished? Is it good?
There we go. We're back. Can
All
you
right.
hear me okay?
I can hear
Yeah,
you
my
now.
internet, there's some this afternoon. Just I noticed it a little bit ago. My internet all of a sudden was just doing some weird stuff. I could hear you though. We're good.
We had a bunch of power outages over here, so I had to
Oh,
stop
really?
the coaching call.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I
So
hope you heard most of that.
yeah, I heard all of it. I heard every word you were saying. Yeah, no, we didn't lose the connection. So, well, let me ask when so you were at the VO. Did you look? Was it so? It's a team. It's a group back there. Like how many agents was it that looked at this? I mean, did you look with them? Was it
So
how tell me the story of how you guys saw eXp.
When we first came, so first of all, we were introduced to eXp a number of different times by the wrong person. Okay, and by the wrong person, there's all of this talk about how we're just this or just that. It really makes a difference, the conversation you have, right? And so there were people that assumed that I would join because of the rev share. There were people that assumed that I would join because of the stock. And those things are important to me. But to be honest with you, I had no frame of reference for it because I was working a profit share model and I had no stock. So I had no idea what that really was going to look like. Then we got with our sponsors. I won't name names just now because, it's not fair, right? Yeah. But I got with our sponsors, and DeVoe and Sekou met with them, and then I met with them, and just the conversation was night and day. They were asking us, well, what made you choose the model that you were in? And we were like, well, to be honest, they had this expansion thing. Nobody else has had it. Nobody else has talked about it, and nobody else can compete with it. And they were like, well, what if you could do that here without any of the constraints that a franchise would give you, right? Where like the local information is the same wherever you are.
Yeah.
And we were like, tell us more, right? And then they were like, and then what if you could talk to agents that have thousands of agents on their team instead of, dozens? And we were like, I'm interested. I'm listening, and the one conversation led to another, which led to another. And it really became easy when we could ask the questions that we were afraid nobody would really answer. No one would give us the real answer to.
Yeah.
And that made all the difference. We started talking. We actually talked to our team leaders because we were in 9 different offices.
Okay.
Right. So we talked to our team leaders and we were like, give us a reason to stay, talk to us, tell us why this is better. Nothing. We went to our regional, right? We went to the director of the whole, Northeast. Couldn't give us a good answer. Not really a good answer. Dave even went and sat down with the big man himself, with the man with the mustache, right? In the guitar room, and he couldn't give us a good reason to stay. So, I'll tell you this, Jeff, as a person of color in America, quite often we feel like we're not invited to the table. Quite often we feel like even if we are, we're marginalized and put in a place, this and that. At eXp, I feel like I own the table.
Yeah.
Okay. It's awesome. I mean, it's really, I can't even explain to you how I don't even have conversations about what's different for us versus them or any. I don't even have those conversations.
Yeah.
We all work together in order to grow the business and do dynamic things.
Yeah. It doesn't, I mean, 20 years for me, 20 years in the business, I've never seen anything like it. The way everybody works together, that collaboration on a nationwide basis. I mean, people don't get it without being here. They just don't.
They don't get it.
And you don't get it other places.
Yeah. And anyone that like comes at me with like a sustainability question or, the weird question about recruiting or something like that. Like, I'm like, you know what? You're right, dude. This is not for you, man. Not yet. You're not ready yet.
Yeah.
I'll be here for you when you are ready. The number one answer I get when I ask why did they choose the brokerage they're with is the culture and the training. And then I ask a follow-up question. I'm like, and so how's the reality matched with the expectation? And that's when all of the laughing and beatboxing happened.
Yeah. What would you say real quick? Because I have a bunch of agents. I've probably got 20 agents right now that have looked at this,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, wow, this is different than I thought, and it's great. But they're on the fence. Like they just can't seem to pull the trigger to make the move, And I'll
So
ask them sometimes, scale of 1 to 10, where are you? Well, I'm an 8. What would it take to get you to a 10? I'm trying to figure out, like, how can I help you get there? Because I'm telling you, you're going to make more money. You're gonna grow your business. Your business is going to go to a whole nother level because you're going to get, again, that nationwide piece to this training, from the best training I've seen in my whole entire career. You're going to get paid multiple ways for what you're already doing anyway. I mean, I don't get it when people don't make the move, but I've got at least 20 right now that are just right there. What would you say to those people?
I am a bit of a jerk, right?
Okay.
So I like to send them back to their brokers and team leaders with questions.
Okay.
Right. And so, like, let's assume that they say, well, you know what? I like everything that you say, but I'm kind of loyal to my broker. I'm a big loyalty guy, and this and that. And I'm like, great. How much is that loyalty worth to your broker? How many decimal points is that loyalty worth to your broker? How much are they willing to give you for your loyalty? And they go, what do you mean? I'd say, tell them you're talking to Jeff Morrell. Tell them you're talking to him about eXp. Tell them you're talking to him about another 6 figures in income just from the productive conversations you're having and things like that. And ask the broker what they're willing to do to match or beat that 6-figure income.
Yeah.
And then I sit down and hear crickets. Man, that's not fair. Oh, I know that. If we're talking to one of the coaching companies that also sell real estate, I often ask them to go to the team leader and be like, oh, who have you personally coached to capping? And what techniques did you teach them that they did? I'd like to do that as well. That usually breaks everything as well. And then the last one that always works for me, just always works for me, because it's absolutely true. It's, okay, what specific techniques is your broker sharing with you to help you grow beyond your competition in the office? And if they're not sharing those if they're not sharing those techniques with you, they're sharing them with your competition. So who are they sharing them with becomes the next question. And let me ask you this last and final question. What if I could share all of those things with you for nothing? Come on over, baby. Come over to Clarkson.
It just makes too much sense.
It does. But Jeff, really does. Jeff, the thing that Nick says all the time is the thing that I've begun to say all the time. It's like, I'm only working with the people that are swimming towards my boat.
Absolutely.
And so I imagine the Titanic is sinking and the water is freezing and there's 100 people in the water. There's 90 people swimming away from my boat, but there's 10 people swimming towards my boat. I could certainly get to the 90 with the 10 in my boat, because we could all work together to get to 90.
Yeah.
So Jeff, what I'm offering you, any one of those people on the fence, call me up. I'll give them square business. I'll be like, you're right. You don't belong here.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I think one of the things that we're starting to see, I mean, again, this was something I think every agent out there that watches it, all agents out there, they need to start looking, where is your money going?
Yeah.
Again, like this market shift, and I don't know where it's going. There's so much out of our control. This economy, the inflation, all this stuff, it's crazy. It's out of our hands. We have nothing to do. We have nothing to say about it. But you got to adjust things. And I did have a call last week from an agent, and she's been with RE/MAX for 26 years. I showed her eXp 3 years ago, and again, loyal. They're gonna bury her in a balloon. I mean, this is where she's at. I mean, and I get it. Like, look, whatever. She called me last week. I think it's time for me to sit down with you again. I've been looking at where my dollars are going, and I've been watching you guys for the last 3 years. And with this shift in the market, I got my concerns, and I just when can we meet up? And we're meeting tomorrow. And I just think that's going to happen more and more and more. And I think too, the independent brokers out there with brick and mortar offices, I mean, there's some sweating going on there. 2008, how many of them went out of business? I mean, because you couldn't keep the doors open. I mean, I don't know where all of it's going, but it is time for everybody. What are you getting for what you're spending right now? That's the reasons I've moved. I mean, when I left Keller Williams in 2010, I had no issues with them, but I just wasn't using anything. I'm paying $21,000 a year, and I had all my own websites, tools, systems, everything. other than a red business card and a nice logo, what am I getting for this? And I had to look at that. And that's why I made the move. That's why I've made every move.
Dude,
What's best for my
I
family?
asked
What's
my
best for
team
me?
leader.
Yeah.
My cap was 35,000 plus another 7,000 for franchise and stuff like that.
Okay.
And when I asked my team leader what my cap paid for besides her lunches, they couldn't answer.
No.
Right. And I said, so here's a good question. Jeff, don't get in trouble. This is me saying it's not Jeff. Here's a great question to ask any team leader at Keller. What is cap management and how much have I paid for? Okay. I won't give you guys the answer right now. Go find out. What is cap management and how much have I paid for?
Yeah. There you go. I'm gonna be watching this again and writing all these down myself. Some great stuff here. I think, and I don't know. Let's see. I had a thought and I just lost my train of thought. What was I going to ask? I know. No, shoot. I don't know. Anyway.
All right, whatever. We're going to have plenty of conversations. Yeah.
Yeah. No. I mean, just tons of stuff. I do think it's important for people to just evaluate where you are. The thing I saw too, when I saw this 4 years ago, I'm like, what do I have to lose? I mean, like, if this does what I really think it could do, like, holy cow, and I'm not locked in here. I could, 6 months from now, a year from now, if I want to go back, I'll go back. They'll take me back, and I can actually negotiate a better deal going back.
Yeah.
They don't want me to leave. So that was one thing. But then I'm like, man, what if this does what I think it could do? And I was just like, I don't want to miss it. That was 4 years ago. And I'll tell you right now, I'm more excited now today than I was 4 years ago. It is, I can't imagine where we're going to be 4 years from now. I mean, seriously, do you think I get excited about this stuff?
Dude, I've got an anecdote for you.
Yeah.
So I'm 2 years at eXp, and I'm in a room with Veronica Figueroa, Josue and Rebecca Soto. I'm in the room with Eloise and the Licha, and I can't think of, why can't I think of, oh my God, Gino and Eloise out in Milwaukee. I'm in the room with millions of dollars worth of income. Forget real estate transaction, income.
Yeah.
And it was game 6 of the Milwaukee Bucks versus the New York Nets. And it was in Milwaukee, and it was all on the line. It was win or go home that game.
Yeah.
And I remember very distinctly that Veronica looks around, and we were a block and a half away from the arena where we were doing our workshop. And Veronica says, hey, if I can get tickets, you guys want to go to the game? And all of my instincts, all of my fear and doubt was like, oh man, that's going to be expensive. There's no way we could do it. Like, I don't want to, like, that's a lot of money. And
yeah.
And she was like, screw you. We're going to get some tickets. This and that. There was 13 of us. Do you know we got 13 tickets in a row? I think we were in like the middle section. We weren't like courtside, but there was damn good seats.
Wow.
And we had the time of our lives that night. We had so much fun, right? Yeah. And what it taught me, man, is everybody is always worried about not losing, right? And they're planning for the loss. They're planning for not losing. They're budgeting for not losing. Dude, what happens when you win, right? What happens when you take that mind and that energy and you freaking lay it on the line and you win?
Yeah.
So my life changed that night when we got those 13 tickets in a row and we went to see game 6. Yes, the Bucks beat the Nets, and I'm, a Brooklyn fan, but so what? We were in Milwaukee and it was a great night. I only play to win. That's it.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, I love how you think. Jim Rohn, do you ever listen to Jim Rohn?
Yes, sir.
Jim Rohn is. I love listening to Jim Rohn. He passed away a few years ago, but I just remember, as far as personal development, man, he just had it on. And and I've had this mindset for so long. We take our kids to Disney World. They were 10 and 8. We go down there, and here's 15 different Disney hotels you could stay at. I'm like, what's the best one? The Grand Floridian. That's where we're going to stay. Because if we're going to do it, this is probably the one time we take our kids. We're not going to go, for 4 days and visit one park a day and come home. We're going to go for 10 days. We're going to get the all pass. We're going to get the food thing. We're going to do everything.
Go crazy.
My wife and I go to a concert. I'm like looking online, like, I don't want to sit up here because I'm going to that concert. This might be the only time I see these people, and I'm paying a couple $100 and I'm going to sit on the 4th row. And that's what we do. I'm just saying, we took our kids we went to Universal Studios in Florida back, I don't know, a few years ago. Yeah,
Harry
it was
Potter.
awesome.
That I live in the Harry Potter world at Universal.
Yeah, actually, we've been down there. I'm thinking about. We went to California. We did the one in California, which, because I used to work in the film business out there in LA and all this stuff. But here's the thing: I look online, and here's the public thing. You can buy the tickets and go in and do all the rides. I'm looking online. I'm like, wait, they got this VIP,
baby.
It's like $300 a person, but we go into a special area. We have breakfast when we get there, and it's like 30 people. You get your own private tour. You get off the tram and walk around the things. You go through the prop house. You do all this stuff. Like, it's when you go on to sets that are actually filming, and then you get the lanyard that gets you at the front of the line on every ride. And I'm like, that's what we did. It's
I don't know how to do anything else. Because
I'm just like, man, go live it up. We're working hard. And we've earned it. It's like, if you work your butt off in this business, and build it right, you can go do things again. Do what other people won't do, and you can have what other people can't have.
Dude,
most people will just settle for average. I'm like, what the heck is average? Like, forget that. Average is average. Average sucks.
I'm gonna do something for the tight asses that are watching this. Hey, tight asses, how are you? Don't worry. I've been a tight ass before, and I'm often a tight ass when my business is concerned. If you're worried about being perceived wrong in first class or in the VIP in section such and such and such, hey, who do you want to do deals with? The guy that's at the back of the line, holding 6 slushies, or the guy that's in the VIP room with you having a catered meal before you get on your flight to go to your private showing of, the boss, playing at the arena.
Yeah.
That person next to you is also a person that thinks like you and moves like you, invests like you, and does business like you. So even though I'm there for my family and we're making big whoops, I fly first class because I'm next to someone who's flying first class. I go to the 5-star Double Eagle Steakhouse because the person next to me is at a 5-star Double Eagle restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't ask how much it costs. They ask what's the return. And that's the biggest philosophy that me and my family have.
Yeah, that's awesome. And getting back to eXp, it's like when you've got the biggest and best agents coming over here, if you want to take your business to another level, get around those people.
And it's so easy.
Yeah. Yeah, because you get access to all of them, whatever. I mean, the biggest and best agents. I mean, look, number 1, number 2 in their entire companies. I mean, they're all coming over here. I did an interview like this a couple of weeks ago with Ibrahim. He's up there in Canada, number 1 Keller Williams team in the entire country of Canada. And they now moved over here. And so we had a great talk with him. You become who you hang around.
You become who you. Listen, Jeff, I did 88 transactions last year, completely virtually. Right? Wow. Completely virtually. The first time they saw, I've never even been in the house. The first time they saw the places on their final walkthrough, right?
Yeah.
I walk around eXp world all the time.
Yeah.
I'm just walking around. I'm just strolling around in there. And every once in a while, an agent will bump into me and be like, are you that dude that did 88 transactions last year? Yeah, I'm always talking about it. Dude, how did you do that? Let's sit down in one of these little private booths. I'll tell you all about it.
Yeah.
Dude, it's just so simple, but sometimes simple is too complicated for the folks that are complaint minded.
Yeah.
And so this is the right spot for everyone that's mission minded, that has the right vision. And Jeff, I know you'll talk to them. I'm willing to talk to anybody. Absolutely. Anywhere. You see me in the eXp world, walk up to me, ask me a question. You see me on Facebook, type the question. I don't care. I go live literally like every day.
Yeah, that's awesome. For sure. Every now and then I run through eXp world. I just get in there. I hit that button, and
I'm there all the time. I'm always showing somebody where stuff is. I'm like, don't ask me the question. Go over here to the broker room, know.
No, that's awesome. Well, and that's the way it is here. Everybody's just giving. I mean, everybody's just giving, and we're all growing because of it, And I would just tell anybody out there watching, if you know Sekou, you want to reach out to Sekou, reach out to me, but get the right information. There's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of just stories and rumors and things out there. I got with an agent here. It's been a while back, and he literally had a 4-page paper from his broker. It's KW broker. And I'll just tell you that. And it was like, here's bullet points, all the reasons why not to join eXp. Bullet points, I said, can I see that? Whatever we met for coffee. I went through it line by line by line. I'm not kidding you. 100% of it was not true. 100%. Not true. And it was obviously a copy of a copy of a copy. I mean, who knows, probably passing all around all the brokers, whatever. I get it. Come get the right information, and then you evaluate it for yourself and decide for yourself. If it's for you, great. If it's not for you, great. Whatever. But you at least owe it to yourself, owe it to your family, owe it to your future to get the right information so you can do a right evaluation. Because right now, if you're evaluating on all the rumors and all the hearsay and all the stuff, and it's not just another model, you don't know what you don't know.
You have
Come
no
look
idea.
at it. Oh my
I tell
God!
you
I
what.
looked at this, and
I tell you what. They had a
it
town
took me a
meeting.
week to make a move, man. I saw this. I'm like, a week. I'm
like
in.
this.
Like, I'm in. Like, this is crazy to me.
They had a town hall meeting when we left, and one of the agents I interviewed after it was like, "Well, they're talking about your cloud-based thing and how that really is not conducive of doing business." I was like, "Oh, how many people have walked in to your office and sat down at your desk and did a deal?" And they were like, "None." And I was like, "And so your cloud-based business is not effective either."
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Dude, I'm a jerk, man, when it comes to that. I could talk all night. However, I got to pivot, man. I love you to death,
man.
brother.
I appreciate getting on here so much. I know you're busy. Yeah, Appointment Academy. They can find you online, right? You
can find me online. We're gonna have a big Appointment Academy in August. It's a 5-day workshop. We get together. We literally take action. This is not a workshop where I'm selling more workshops, right?
Yeah.
This is a workshop where you come in, you crack open your phone, you crack open your book, you make contacts, connections, leads, appointments, and the average agent will set probably about, I don't know, $50,000 worth of commissioned income appointments during that week. The over average agent is going to set about $500,000 worth of commissioned income over that week.
Wow.
Awesome. It's open to anybody. You don't have to be an eXp agent. Mm-hmm. Yes, I will recruit you. If you ask me questions, I will answer those questions honestly, and I will challenge your model. I will always challenge your model. I'm a coach. I wouldn't be worth it if I didn't.
Right.
And that's it, man. Find me. Ask me questions. Challenge me. Tell me I'm full of shit. I don't care.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. Sometime I'd love to have you come in. We do a training every Tuesday for our Freedom team. I'd love to have you come in there sometime. Just spend 45 minutes or something. Just pour out some stuff, man. We would get going.
I'm getting on planes a lot this year, man. I'll be in Atlanta Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm gonna do a poolside chat on Sunday before I pull out. Nice. I'll come to you, man. Let's go.
That'd be awesome, man. Well, I appreciate it. You're doing big things. You got a great story, man. Thank you so much for jumping on.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
Really appreciate it. Guys, just if you got any questions, seriously, put them in the comments. YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever. We will get back to you. We'll get those questions answered, either Sekou or myself. If you're on my YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button. Give us some likes, whatever. We're growing some big things here. So have a great week, everybody. Thanks a lot. Good luck with everything going on. Thanks, Sekou. We'll see you. Okay.